Okay, so I know on Tumblr, Nubbins won the poll for the character I'd make a video on first, but what y'all didn't know was that I tricked you! I'm actually gonna make a video on the least voted character first! Don't worry though, I will make the video on Chop Top and Nubbins eventually, it's just gonna take a little while longer. Anyways, on with the video. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is definitely a movie with a lot of iconic characters. I mean, of course we have Leatherface, Nubbins, Drayden, and of course Sally, the first final girl. However, of all the characters in this movie, by far the most hated would have to be none other than Franklin Hardesty. The reasons given for disliking him is that he's supposedly whiny and mean to his friends while being childish and unsympathetic overall. And all I have to say to this is that, did we watch the same movie? Like, seriously, did we watch the same movie? Because I'm pretty sure we did not watch the same movie. Franklin, I feel, is one of the most overhated characters in all of horror history. And allow me to explain why. Oh, also, by the way, I'm just gonna assume that you've watched the first movie if you're watching this, so, spoilers for a 40-year-old movie, I guess. In the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we are introduced to our protagonists. Sally, Pam, who if she were alive today would most definitely run an astrology account on Instagram, would probably be the type of person unironically buy a Starbucks drink based on her sign. Her boyfriend Kirk, who looks like a walking JCPenney catalog and has the ugliest haircut I've ever seen in my life. Jerry, who's probably the most 70s looking motherfucker I've ever seen outside of a disco party. Also, him and Sally are dating apparently, but it's like never brought up. I always forget it when rewatching the first movie. And the topic of this video, Franklin. Before getting into everything else, let's give a basic rundown on old Franklin over here. Well, for starters, one of the things that immediately stands out about him is the fact that he is paraplegic, and he is not treated well by the other characters for it, especially from Kirk. I will get into my gripes with him later. He is also definitely the character that is most directly connected to Sally, as he is her older brother. In general, him and Sally seem to have a very interesting relationship with each other. While Sally is never outright mean to Franklin, she is very complicit in her friends straight up bullying him. Also doesn't seem to do much about the fact that they constantly exclude him from their activities. What does interest me, though, is that it seems to be implied that Franklin didn't even want to go on this trip in the first place, but Sally managed to convince him somehow. Another thing we know about Franklin is that he seems to have quite an interest in slaughterhouses and the meat business, like the fact he straight up starts info dumping about it in the van, much to the others' dismay. In general, the other characters seem to have a very interesting relationship with Franklin. To call them his friends is very generous. For example, in this scene where they all go off in the house without him, when they know for a fact there are no wheelchair ramps, so he can't go with them. I see a lot of people use this scene as a reason to hate Franklin, saying that he's being annoying and rude to his friends. How? How is he being mean and annoying? Because he wants to hang out with his friends? In general, we see in the movie Franklin has very unregulated emotions, and is not afraid to tell people when he is upset about a situation or mad at them. A lot of people say this is him being whiny, but personally, if my friends were constantly excluding me, being mean to me, being ableist to me, and overall being jerks to me, I'd be pretty damn whiny too. Though I personally believe some of his unregulated emotions might be due to him being on the spectrum. But anyway, speaking of Sally's friends, they don't seem to think very highly of Franklin. Getting mad at him for info dumping about the slaughterhouse, making fun of him for being anxious because a man randomly attacked him, or getting mad at him because he wanted to hang out with his friends. There's a scene later on in the movie when Kurt and Pam decide to go exploring around the area. While doing this, they decide to start shit-talking about Franklin for no reason. By the way, side note, while I was editing this video and looking over footage, I noticed how in this scene Kirk not only body shames Franklin, but also straight up jokes about shooting him. What the fuck is wrong with you, you dense, irritating beast of burden? On in the film, when Franklin gets really anxious about the fact that Nubbins might be following them, Jerry decides to make fun of him for being scared that a guy that randomly attacked him and knows what their car looks like might still be after them. What the fuck is your problem? You're treating him being worried that someone might be coming after him like he just watched a scary movie or something. Like, seriously, Sally, you need to find new friends. Why are you constantly hanging around people who bully your paraplegic autistic brother all the time? Like, really, you need to find new friends. Like this guy. He seems like a way better influence. Perfect segue, Mask. Perfect segue. For real, though, Franklin and Nubbins are extremely connected characters. In the van scene, Franklin seems to be the only person in the cast who actually engages with Nubbins, and doesn't just try to ignore him. Even being able to share a common interest with him, that being the slaughterhouse. He even seems to take quite the interest in Franklin as well, deciding to take a picture of Franklin, and seemed to be genuinely crushed that he didn't want to pay for it, even reacting violently as a result. By the way, all these parallels between Franklin and Nubbins is the reason why a lot of people in the fandom have decided to ship them. myself included. Anyways, on to the most infamous scene of the movie. The main thing that people point to when they say they don't like Franklin. The flashlight scene. And I'm sorry I keep asking this, but did we watch the same scene? Because in this scene, Sally is essentially deciding that she's gonna go out in the middle of the woods with no flashlight, no protection, and no one with her, and is just gonna leave Franklin behind. Now, can you see why this is a stupid idea? Especially since there is a gas station that is nearby that likely has food, other people, a phone they can use to call. I mean, yeah, we know the gas station had no phone and was being run by Drayden, but Franklin doesn't know that! And everyone says that Franklin is being unreasonable and childish in this scene, but honestly, Sally is being the childish one here. All Franklin is telling her is, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to go looking for Jerry in the woods at night, and Sally isn't listening to him. Now listen, I know that Sally is a teenager who is scared out of her mind and is most definitely not being rational. Like, come on, girl, listen to your brother! And how is Franklin being the unreasonable and childish one for trying to keep his sister from doing something dangerous and stupid? Honestly, I think Franklin is probably the most rational and reasonable character in the whole cast. I mean, he was actually able to make a pretty good plan about how they could look for Jerry and the others, and Sally just decides to be completely unreasonable and treat him like he's being childish from trying to keep her from doing something dangerous and stupid. I know I might be coming off as very angry in this video. Sorry to get real on y'all, but I have a lot of personal experience with ableism in my own life, which is probably why I'm reacting so harshly to all this. But I just have to ask you, how is Franklin unsympathetic? How is this character unsympathetic? The character that was routinely bullied by all of his sister's dickhead friends, constantly excluded from everything that they did, and tried to keep his sister from doing something dangerous and ended up getting treated like shit for it? And then he died. He died because his sister wasn't listening to him. He died because everyone around him never took him seriously. I might not have been able to change your mind on this character. Maybe you still don't like him even after watching this, but at the very least I hope I can provide a different perspective on this. As you can probably guess, I'm very fond of this character. Hell, he's probably my third favorite right next to Nubbins. And I really think more people should appreciate him, and should think a lot more critically about a lot of the hate thrown towards him. Seriously, I just want to ask, why do you not like Franklin? Is it because he has unregulated emotions? Is it because he struggles to understand social cues? Is it the fact that he mimics behavior? What does that say for people like me? What does that say for other disabled people? Hey y'all, sorry this video got kind of real near the end. I didn't want to get super angry or passionate, but I couldn't really help it with the subject matter. Anyways, I'm sorry this video took forever to come out. There's been so much shit happening in my life and things have been really chaotic recently. I've had almost no free time. As for the next two videos, they're probably going to be out in January, but as you know, I'm terrible at fulfilling deadlines I set for myself, so expect to be waiting a little bit. Anyways, my name is Masky Masker, and thank you very much for watching.